Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Lavi. In today's video, I'll be doing a makeover on this doll. So just stay tuned to see how I achieve this look. Okay, so we're starting off with primer. I had already cleaned and moisturized her face off camera. So I'm just blending that into the skin with a brush. Nothing too serious here. Okay, so now I'm just brushing out her brows upward and outward with a spoolie. Then I'm gonna fill those in with a brow pencil. So I'm going to start by lining the bottom of the brow and then the top, getting the shape that I desire, and then filling the brows in. So I'm going to go ahead and do that to both brows, just filling them in until I get the look that I desire. Just blending them out, making sure that the product is distributed evenly. So now I'm just cleaning up the brows with some concealer just to make sure they're as crisp as possible. So I'm going to go both top and bottom. So now I'm just blending the product down, covering her entire eyelids so that I can get an even base for when I apply eyeshadow. And of course, we're going to do that to both eyes. So just blending that product down, making sure it is as even as possible. Now I'm just going to go ahead and clean up the top of her brows, making sure to get that desired shape. And of course, whatever we do to one side, we're going to do to the other. So here I'm just cleaning up the top of her other brow. So now I'm just adding some more product to her brows, making sure that the shape is okay before I move on. Again, we're going to blend her brows out in an upwards motion, making sure to distribute the products evenly. So now I'm just blending that extra product into the skin so that the concealer dries down seamlessly and not cakey. I don't even remember what we were talking about here, but we were vibing. It's always a vibe with her. Here I'm going in with this orangey shade from my Juvia's Place palette. I don't remember the name of the shade, but I'll put it in the description box. So that's the palette that I'm using. It's the Magic Mini by Juvia's Place. Now I'm just blending in that orange shade, making sure that it's not harsh. So here I'm just packing in most of the color on the outer corner and then blending what I have left on the brush on the inner corner. Just packing in some more of that orange shade just to get it as vibrant as possible, and blend, making sure that there is no harshness in the eyeshadow. So now I'm just going in with this dark brown shade from my Plain in Makeup by Yolanda palette with a detailed brush. I'm going to go ahead and carve out the shape that I want for my cut crease, and then going back and forth to blend it out. And again, whatever we do for one side, we have to ensure that we do it to the next. Now I'm just taking a bigger detailed brush to blend out that darkened crease, making sure that it's not harsh. So now I'm just going to go ahead and cut her crease with this white eyeshadow base. Taking my time to ensure that her cut crease is as sharp as possible. And of course, you're going to go ahead and blend that product downwards. So at this point, I had just realized that I hadn't draped her, so I went ahead and did that off camera, as well as finished up most of her cut crease. So now I'm just wiping away some of that excess base. out the end with that same brown shade that I had used earlier. Taking that same orange shade from the Juvia's Place palette, and I'm putting that almost entirely over her lid, with just leaving a small white negative space. And of course, you're gonna go back in and do a bit more blending. Going back in with that same orange shade from the Juvia's Place palette. So now I'm going to go in and do a liner. I'm not doing anything fancy, so no wing, just a basic black liner. Mascara on both the top and bottom lashes. So now I'm applying a layer of Ardell Clear Lash Glue to her lash line. Here I'm going in with my Maybelline Super Stay Foundation. I don't quite remember the shade, but again, I'll leave that down in the description box. And I know here it looks like the foundation is too dark for her, but don't worry, I'm gonna get that adjusted. You just gotta trust the process. her face and her neck are actually two different shades, what I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and highlight the center points of her face so that it can match her neck. And the center points being, of course, under her eyes, her forehead, the bridge of her nose, on top of her mouth, and below. Blending all the points that I just highlighted. So again, under her eyes, her forehead, the bridge of her nose, on top and below her Here I'm just cleaning up the edge of her eyeshadow so it's sharp. Back in with that foundation brush to make sure everything is seamless and we have no harsh lines. Now I'm just going to go ahead and set the highlighted portions of her face with my Sacha Buttercup. I'm going to go ahead and add some color to her lower lash line using an orange shade from my Plain Yolanda makeup palette. So this was the point where I added the mascara to her lower lash line. Now I'm just going to dust away all of that excess setting powder. now I'm just bringing back some color to her face with this Absolute New York pressed powder. The setting powder did leave a bit of a white cast, but nothing that a pressed powder can't fix. And of course, we've got to get her neck. Her face and neck can't be two different colors. Here I'm just applying highlighter. This highlighter is from Cosmetics. It is a Jamaican owned brand. So I'm just going to go ahead and highlight the highest points of her cheek, the tip of her nose, the top of her nose bridge, her temples, the top of her lip, and her chin. Now I'm just cleaning her lips with a makeup wipe to remove any excess products that may have gotten caught on her lips, and then I'm going to apply some lip gloss. So here I just went ahead and sprayed her face, and that setting spray is from Cosmetics, which also is a Jamaican brand. So that's it for the look. Stay tuned for the finished product.